let's dive into the rise and fall of Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, a story that, for years, really felt like a true Hollywood fairy tale. But before they were this global phenomenon, this is how Jennifer Aniston saw Brad Pitt, just a sweet, normal guy from Missouri. I mean, it's a surprisingly down-to-earth description, right? Especially for a man who would become one half of the world's most famous couple. So where did it all begin? Well, you might be surprised. It wasn't on some glamorous movie set or at a big Hollywood party. It was actually pretty normal. Believe it or not, their managers set them up back in the mid-90s, long before the media frenzy would completely take over their lives. And from there, things moved fast, like really fast. After that first date in '98, the chemistry was just undeniable. By the '99 Emmys, they were officially a couple, and the world was instantly obsessed. Then came the surprise proposal, and of course, the wedding in 2000. This wasn't just a relationship anymore. It was a huge cultural event unfolding right in front of us. And with that wedding, they basically entered their golden era. They weren't just a couple, they were the couple. The press, the public, everyone saw them as the absolute perfect match, the living, breathing embodiment of the Hollywood dream. And that wedding? Oh man, it just sealed the deal on the whole fairy tale thing. This wasn't just a ceremony. It was a full-blown production. Get this, 50,000 flowers, a live gospel choir, fireworks over Malibu, and it absolutely cemented their status as Hollywood royalty. And the best part? They knew exactly how the public saw them. I mean, Brad's cameo on Friends, playing a guy who literally despised Rachel, was just a brilliant, playful nod to their real-life romance. But, as we all know, fairy tales don't always last. Behind those perfect smiles and all the red carpet glamour, reality was beginning to set in. And this is really where you see the two stories pulling apart. Publicly, they were America's sweethearts, the perfect match. But privately, they were dealing with the constant glare of the media, endless questions about when they were going to have kids, and the strain of two massive careers pulling in different directions. That dream was quickly becoming a burden. Every story like this has a turning point, right? For them, it was a movie set. In 2004, Brad Pitt started filming an action comedy that wouldn't just change his career, it would change the course of his life, and this entire story forever. The thing is, the chemistry between Brad and his co-star, Angelina Jolie, it just wasn't for the cameras. It was absolutely electric, and everybody could see it. Of course, the tabloids went into a total frenzy, speculating that the on-screen romance had spilled over into real life. Suddenly, that line between the movie they were making and the lives they were living got incredibly blurry. And that was it. The speculation just became too much to handle, and the fairy tale came to this abrupt and very, very public end. This wasn't just a breakup. It really felt like the end of a whole Hollywood era. In early 2005, they released this joint statement, and you can just feel them trying desperately to get a handle on the narrative. They explicitly denied that any of the tabloid rumors were the cause. They were trying to tell their own story, but honestly, the world could already see the fire was out of control. Yeah, that statement, it did the exact opposite of what they'd hoped. The headlines didn't just continue, they completely exploded. The story was way too big for anyone to control at that point. Almost immediately, the whole narrative shifted. Suddenly, the world was introduced to Brangelina. This new couple was basically solidified in the public's mind by that now infamous photo shoot for W Magazine, which showed Brad and Angelina as this perfect little family. So, how did Jennifer Aniston feel about that particular photo shoot? Well, in a famously candid interview, she delivered this unforgettable line. So, what happens after the fairy tale ends? Well, for both of them, they had to navigate this intense aftermath, rebuild their lives right in the public eye, and in doing so, they created this lasting, unforgettable legacy. A huge part of that aftermath for Jennifer was having to defend herself. This really cruel narrative started bubbling up that the split was somehow her fault, that she chose her career over starting a family. She had to come out and publicly, firmly deny these incredibly hurtful claims. In time, of course, they both moved on. They found new partners, they built families, and they continued to have these massive, successful careers. And yet, that public fascination, it never really went away, did it? Years later, a single, friendly backstage photo of them at an award show nearly broke the internet. It just proved that their story still had this powerful grip on all of us.